Hi everybody, it's Courtney with Twilight Treasures. Thank you for joining me today. I have a gorgeous card to share with you today, and it's made with the brand new Blossoms in Bloom stamp set out of the current Stampin' Up! Catalog. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, so if you need any of these items, please let me know. I'll have a link below my video for my website at Stampin' Up! And also my email. So contact me and we'll get you all set up with whatever you might need. Okay, I'm going to use the Stamparatus today. If you don't have a stamp positioner of some sort, it's okay. You can use the big acrylic block to put your stamp on. The stamp set is the photopolymer stamp set, so it clings to your blocks. It'll be fine. But since I'm using such a large stamp today, this huge flower set here, it's just so much easier to use the Stamparatus. So I am going to choose to use that today. All right. So let me get, hold on. Let me get my pieces out here. Okay. So what I'm going to be using is the card base, which is Calypso Coral. And that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's the base. And then Mango Melody layer is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And that'll go right on top of that. And then the part we'll stamp on is white with, that is cut to 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, so that'll be our layers. Now, I'm just going to take the white layer right now. I'm going to put it on the Stamparatus, and I always use, this is the grid paper that is sold separately from the Stamparatus, but it comes in handy, especially if you're going to stamp off by any chance. It just makes life easier, and it also gives you the grids to line your card up with, and then put the magnets to hold that down. And don't ever put these magnets near each other off of this magnetic platform, because they will slam together and break. Okay, so I'm going to ink up our flowers with Mango Melody. And ink it up real good. The beauty of the Stamparatus is that if you miss a spot or anything, you can just stamp it all over again. It'll go right back the exact same place. And you can make it darker or fill in your spots. Okay, push all over it. Lots of pressure. So you get all that ink onto your cardstock. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll close this up. Put that aside for the moment. And then I'm going to take my Calypso Coral stamp pad. Let's push on the middle to open it up. Slide and lock it. And I'm going to take a little sponge dauber. And yes, I have mine all nicely labeled with, I'm going to use one for each color, so I don't want to mix them up. But this is Calypso Coral, little sponge dauber, and I'm going to dunk it in there, and then I'm going to write on the stamp around each of the centers of the flowers. I'm going to add just a little bit of color of Calypso Coral there. So we'll get a little bit of a blended effect without using blender pens. There'll be no coloring today, all ink. Ink pads, I should say. Okay. We get a little bit more color in there. Okay. All right, and that's it on that. Let's stamp that down. And again, it goes right back over the exact same place you stamped the other one. And see, it just adds a little bit of hint of the Calypso Coral color, which I think is gorgeous. It makes it look very tropical. Okay, and that's it on the Stamparatus, so we'll get that out of the way. Put that over here. Okay, close up my Calypso. Now, actually, let's leave Calypso Coral out, and we're going to go ahead and stamp. These are, whoops, I've got two stamps on here. We've got the little dots that come out of the set. It's these little dots here, and they will be the center. I assume they're called seeds, but I don't know. I don't know what the center of a flower is called, so we'll just leave it at seeds. All right, and then I'm going to try and get These in sort of in the center, but it doesn't have to be perfect. This is kind of a watercolor effect look to this stamp set anyway. So it does not have to be perfect, but there you go. All right, so there's that. And I'll just stamp off a little bit there. Take that off. Let's put the leaves on. Get this cleaned off a little. I'm going to put this leaf, just the single leaf. I like that better. I've got the double leaf or the bigger leaf here, which is very pretty, but it doesn't fit in as well for my liking. So I decided to use the single leaf and just use it a couple times. So I'm going to pull in Granny Apple Green. Again, push the middle to open it up. It's a lot easier. And then slide it and lock it in place. Alright, so I'll take my leaf and I'm going to stamp full strength. Not sure what happened there. This is where Stamparatus would be good. We'll go there. There we go. So full strength here and here. And because I stamped off the page, I have got to re-ink it again or I'm going to end up with a line on my next stamp. Okay. So I ink it up. Stamp here. And second generation. And then I'll stamp a little bit here and second generation and here and second generation. Okay, and I'm going to put a stamp off and then I'm going to put a second generation stamp there. And let's do, oh, I'll see a blank spot. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Okay, I'm going to close that up. We're all done with those for the moment. And while we have everything out, let's go ahead and stamp our inside. This is what we're going for here. Inside the card, always have to decorate, always have to decorate the inside. It makes it much prettier. And we're also going to do an envelope. Okay, so let's see. It needs to be bigger. Yes. Nope. I need a bigger piece. Yeah, here we go. Okay. And I'm just going to use, you've got two different flowers here. I believe I picked this one just, it doesn't matter. They're about the same size and they'll give you the same effect. So whichever one you want to use and then put that on the block. And I'm going to stamp this again in Mango Melody to match our flowers on the front. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put 3 flowers at the bottom. And the longer you hold the stamp down with the ink, the more it transfers to the cardstock, so you get a darker image. Okay. That's good. And I'm going to go on and put the leaves in while I'm thinking about it. And then we'll put the seeds in the middle. I've got the leaf stamp right here, so I'm going to go on and do that while it's out. That's good. Okay. And then take a little of the ink off of that. And we will put our seeds back on here and pull out our Calypso Coral. Could not think of the name. Okay. There we go. Open that up. Put a few little seeds on this thing. This is going to be a bigger bunch of seeds than we really want, but it'll work out just fine. Gives you the idea. Okay. So that's it for that. And other than our sentiment, I think we are done with stamping. So let's hold that out. Okay. I'll try and leave that so y'all can see it while I'm still working. I'll put it over here since I'm right-handed. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece for the front and I'm going to run it through the Big Shot with the subtle embossing folder. Just adds a little bit of texture, and you need to do that after you've stamped. Otherwise, if you put this through on blank white and then try and stamp on top, you're going to have lines and it's going to be all messed up. So go ahead and stamp, and then I'm going to run it through. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, you can see, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's got just a little bit of texture, just a little bit of, it's almost like wood grain, but it's not exactly. It's just very simple, but it makes it a little bit better for popping off the card. So that'll go on there, like so. And then we'll do our sentiment. So let's get that ready to go. And with the sentiment, we're going to use the new postage stamp punch. So I'm going to have a piece of white and a piece of Calypso coral, just scrap. And I'm going to cut one piece out of each. Okay, now, since I want to layer them up and give a background here, I need, since they're exactly the same size right now, I need to make the white one a little bit smaller, and that's the beauty of this punch. You just can put it right back in sideways, take off a little bit off the long end and a little bit off the short end, like so. And now we have a layer. Okay, so let's stamp our sentiment on there. I think I will stamp it in, I guess I'll do it in Calypso coral like the old one. Okay, so open that up. And sure do miss you. I think that's really good for the times we're going through right now. It's a little crooked. Let's try the other side. We have two sides, but I'll probably get it crooked again, but oh well. That's a little better. Okay, now all done with stamping, I think. No promises. And I'm going to use the brand new Stampin Seal, which I'm not having very good luck with. It keeps jamming up on me, but I'm going to give it a shot. And just, it's apparently a very light touch that it needs, which isn't working. But just roll it a little bit with your finger. Like so. And then I'm going to layer that on here as centered as I can. Okay, now we're ready to put it together. Okay, this should go pretty quick. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue, the multi-glue, and come on, just a thin layer, don't need much. And I like using this because, oops, let me get some in the corner here, because it does give you some wiggle room if you don't get it in the right spot at the first time. So put that here. Okay, yeah, you don't want to put too much because you don't want it squishing out the sides. And I always do from the back to flatten it out a little. And then we'll put on our top layer. Come on. Okay, put a little bit much on that one side. I think I like it that way. Okay. And there's the basic part of our card. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the inside piece in. Again, just a little bit of Tombow on there. Always want to get a little bit in each corner just to make sure, because that'll be the part that pops up the easiest if it's going to pop. Put that there in the center as best I can too. Okay, And I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. Here we go. Just a couple of dimensionals. Take your pick tool to get those little papers, release papers on there. Yep, there we go. Okay. And I'm going to put that. Yeah. I'm going to put it down here where I had the others. There's that. Okay. And that's it. Now, I did forget to do the envelope. So I do think I'm going to go on and do that because that should always be done. Then you've got a matching envelope to go with everything. Okay. So I need all my inks back out. Let me do the Mango Melody first. And we're going to do a couple of flowers and make it just match the, basically match the inside of the card. Let's put one more down here. Okay. And then we'll put our little seeds in the middle. And throw in a few leaves and we will be all finished. Just a couple of leaves to give it some extra color. Okay, and that's it. Now we could put more on the back here, but not necessary today. Okay, but you could certainly put a little grouping of flowers on the back. That always works nicely, but that'll do it for us for today. Okay, so here's our card. This is the one I had before, which is pretty much exactly the same. But yeah, there you go. And you've got a nice card and matching envelope. And there's the inside. Easy peasy. All right, well, I hope you'll join me again. If you like this video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up down below the video. And I will see you next time. And if you'd like to subscribe, that would be wonderful. Just hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I every time I upload a new video. Okay, have a great day and hope to see you next time. Thanks. Bye.